Cool. Well, I'm Joe Strauser. Thanks for joining me for episode 2 of the Boxcar Songbook. Today I'm going to be looking at Ridin the Rails, and I'm going to start off, let me get my guitar ready, and then we'll kick straight into it. So these shows that I'm going to be doing are exploring songs that have influenced me and that I love listening to, and things that have come into my writing. So I'm going to start this off by reading a little bit from Woody Guthrie's book, Bound for Glory, from chapter 1, Soldiers in the Dust. I could see men of all colours bouncing along in the boxcar. We stood up. We sat down. We laid down. We piled on around each other. We used each other for pillows. I could smell the sour and bitter sweat soaking through my own khaki shirt and breeches, and the work clothes, overalls and saggy, dirty suits of other guys. My mouth was full of some kind of grey mineral dust that was about an inch deep all over the floor. We looked like a gang of lost corpses heading back to the boneyard. Hot in September heat, tired, mean and mad, cussing and sweating, raving and preaching. Part of us waved our hands in the cloud of dust and hollered out to the whole crowd. Others, too weak, too sick, too hungry or too drunk to even stand up. The train was a highball and had the right of way. Our car was a rough rider called by hobos a flat wheeler. I was riding out in the tail end where I got more dust but less heat. The wheels were clipping it off at 60 miles an hour. All I could hear above the raving and cussing and the roar of the car was the jingle and clink on the underside every time the wheels went over a rail joint. I guess 10 or 15 of us guys were singing. And here is the song they were singing. It's a song called Bound for Glory. It's an old gospel number, but the version I like to learn it from is from Big Bill Broonzy. Well, this train is bound for glory, this train is bound for glory, this train is bound for glory, don't care nothing but the righteous and the holy, this train, bound for glory, this train. Well, this train don't care no ramblers, this train. Well, this train don't care no gamblers, this train. This train don't care no gamblers, no backbiters, no high flyers. This train is bound for glory, this train. This train's solid black, this train. Well, this train is solid black, boys, this train is solid black. If you get a ticket, you ain't coming back on this train. Bound for glory in this train. Well, this train don't carry transportation on this train. This train don't carry transportation on this train. This train don't catch transportation. There's no Jim Crow, no discrimination on this train. Bound for glory, this train. This train don't care if you're white or black. Oh, this train don't care if you're white or black. On this train don't care if you're white or black. Everybody's treated all alike on this train, bound for glory on this train. Well, this train is bound for glory, this train is bound for glory on this train. Well, this train is bound for glory, don't carry nothing but the righteous and the holy on this train. Bound for glory on this train, bound for glory on this train, is bound for glory on this train. Well, thank you, folks. That's a tune called This Train. And as I've just read from Woody Guthrie's biography, Bound for Glory, here's a train song that I learnt from Woody. I first got into Woody Guthrie listening to his Ash recordings, and I remember that I was walking around a supermarket with my headphones in, and I was trying to get the grips with it. And up to that point, I'd found it, it had been quite difficult to sink my teeth into. But then I heard this song, and I had to just stop entirely what I was doing. And I've loved it and played it since then. It's a song called Train 45, and it goes like this. Well, that train I ride on is 100 coaches long. Hear the whistle blow 100 miles. If that train run me right, I'll be home tomorrow night, 900 miles from my home. And I hate to hear the lonesome whistle blow. It's that long, lonesome train whistling down. It's that long, lonesome train whistling down. No, I'm walking down the track, got them tears in my eyes, trying to read a letter from my home. If that train run me right, I'll be home tomorrow night, 900 miles from my home. And I hate to hear the lonesome whistle blow. It's that long, lonesome train whistling down. It's that long, lonesome train whistling down. Well, thanks, folks. That's a song called Train 45. It's a good old sad train song. And when I started playing harmonica, I realized there was a whole school of... I don't have a pocket there, folks. How embarrassing. Let me get this harmonica ready. I realized there was a whole school of thought when you were a harmonica player. Well, back in the day, if you played harp, you had to be able to do an impression of a freight train, otherwise you weren't worth your weight in gold. And so being from the Northeast, the crutch of steam engineering and train movement, I wrote this song, which is called the George Stevenson Blues. It's inspired by similar tunes, stuff like Lost John by Sonny Terry, and the Pan American Blues by D. Ford Bailey, and a bunch of old other train song players. So I'll wet my little train whistle. Here's to ya. And here's a song about steam trains. It's called the George Stevenson Blues. Thank you, folks. That's a number called the George Stevenson Blues. And moving on, the next song I'm going to do is an old tune by Hank Williams, where he released it under his alias Luke the Drifter, as it was one of his songs that wasn't really a jukebox dancey tune, but it's a song called Ramblin' Man, and I love it. So here we go. Let's play it. Oh, I can go some harp on this one. Let's do it. Oh yeah. I could settle down and be doing then I'd hurry straight home and pack. If I did not go, believe I'd blow my stack. Well, I love you, baby, you better understand. When the Lord made me, made a rambling man. Some folks might say that I'm no good, that I would not settle down if I could. When the open road starts a calling me, there's something over the hill that I gotta see. Sometime it's hard, you gotta understand. When the Lord made me, he made a rambling man. I love to see the towns passing by, or to ride the rails beneath God's blue sky. I travel this land from the mountain to the sea, for I believe that's the life that he meant for me. And when I'm gone, at my grave you stand, just say God's called back his rambling man. Thanks, folks. That's a song by Hank Williams called Ramblin' Man. If you're just joining us, this is the Boxcar Songbook episode 2. I'm talking about songs about riding the rails. Of course, riding the rails was one of the, if you're a traveling musician in the southern United States, pretty much one of the only solid ways to get around was by riding freight trains and hoboing. People would hobo to get to work, to get to where they needed to be. But it was a dangerous and dirty and unpleasant way to travel. There are still people riding trains today. I know a lot of people in New Orleans, in the community there, who are musicians who started off riding trains together, and they still ride every so often. It's pretty incredible when you look at what, how people travel like that. They got a lot of nerve, I'll tell you that. Here's a tune by Jimmie Rodgers. It's called Waiting for a Train. It's about, being treated low down when you're hoboing. Well, it was all around the water tower. I was waiting for a train 1,000 miles away from my home, sleeping out in the rain. And I went to see the brakeman. You know, I gave him my line of talk, and he said, if you got money, son, I'll see that you don't walk. But I didn't have not a penny, not a nickel could I show. Well, back off, you railroad bum. You know, he slammed that boxcar door. Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. Oh, it's that criminal thing where you put in the wrong harmonica, children. Oh, my Lord, nothing is bluer than the sound of the wrong harmonica. You know, it put me off in Texas. It's a state I surely love, full of wide open places and the moon and the stars up above. You know, nobody seems to want me or to lend me a helping hand. You know, I was on my way from Frisco back home to Dixieland. Oh, back home in Dixie, my pocketbook is empty. You know, my heart, it's filled with pain. I'm 1,000 miles away from my home, waiting for a train. Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. Oh, yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. Well, thank you, folks. That's a Jimmie Rodgers song. Jimmie Rodgers, of course, was known as the singing brakeman and always dressed up like he was, a train engineer. Yeah. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Boxcar Songbook about riding the rails. I'm going to squeeze one more in. Here's an old tune from the Memphis jug band. It's called the Casey Moan. Written about the Kansas City Southern Line train. Hence the KC, you know. Let's find the correct harmonica this time. Could be any of these. Here we go. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you've enjoyed the show, you can send me a tip if you like over at paypal.me/Strouser, or I've got some records for sale which are up on Bandcamp on joestrouser.bandcamp.com. I've been releasing EPs every month while we've been in lockdown, so I've got May, June and July are up there now. Thanks to everyone who's got them already. I really appreciate that. Here's a Memphis Jug Band tune to see me out. Hope you've enjoyed this. Next week I'll be looking into Prohibition songs, part 1, and then the week after I'll be looking particularly at songs to do with Jamaican ginger paralysis or the Jake leg, which is kind of a side of Prohibition. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I've been Joe Strouser. Stay well, look after yourselves and your loved ones. And here's a tune called the Casey Moan. I thought I heard Casey when she blew. Thought I heard the Casey when she blew. Thought I heard the Casey when she blows. Oh Lord, she gone just like my woman on the go. When I get back on the Casey Road, when I get on the Casey Road, when I get back on the Casey Road, oh Lord, gonna love my baby like I never loved before. I've been Joe Strouser. Thank you and good night. Tune in next week and take it easy.